quite honestly, it ran its course where it felt like, oh, I'm just part of this big coaching machine, right?
Yeah.
It kind of like, it's like seeing how the sausage is made, you lose the passion for it, right?
Thank you for joining. You are in the vault with the Kate Broddick team, and I am your host, Kate Broddick. I'm actually really excited because we have a local agent who I basically grown up in the business with. We started our careers very similar.
Totally.
Jeff Thibodeau from Real Brokerage. Thank you for joining today.
You're welcome.
And thanks for making the big drive 35 minutes down the road.
Stuck behind some transport trucks, so sorry for the 5 minutes late.
No, that's not a problem at all. And what I think most excited about this, we were just talking before we started, was the progression of your career, because most agents, 15 years in the business?
17. 2008.
2008. Okay, so then I've actually decreased your age in timeline, because I thought I'm 13 years in the business. This March coming in 2026 will be 14 years. I thought we were about a year and a half, but I think it was because our teams started similar timelines.
Yeah, the first 3 or so years I was kind of still keeping a full-time job and mostly just doing sphere business, figuring it out. And then, probably where my team and my business started accelerating was the same time you got in took off at the same time, which was awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I want to start with this, because what's so interesting about your career path is you've been a licensed agent, you've been a team leader, you've been a broker owner, you've gone into the coaching space. Yep. So, I mean, that's a very diverse path that most agents just kind of get into the sales position, maybe join a team, maybe come off a team, and just kind of go until the end of time. And you've really hit every single angle.
Yeah, it's been exhausting, quite honestly, but it's like, I love that you can go and you just get exposed to things, and I always see things and I'm like, oh, I could do that. Like, I'm never really like, oh, like I'm always pretty excited if I see somebody else doing something. I think, oh, wow. So you go to a conference and you get into business coaching, like, oh, maybe I could be the coach. Or then you help up somebody buy a flip and you're like, oh, why don't I do a flip? And like, so it's just like this industry just lets you do that. Oh, that's right, and flipping too.
So we did, okay, so you really have hit all angles of this business.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I haven't like built a condo tower, or like, I don't know what else is there to do.
There's still time.
Yeah, exactly.
There is still time. And that's where I want to start, is kind of at the beginning. And then there's some interesting dynamics that have happened with a merger of some great big teams, wonderful team leaders, 2 of which I've actually had on the podcast, because you started at RE/MAX, correct?
Yeah, when I first got in the business, I mean, RE/MAX was the big name locally. Yeah. So like a lot of agents that I interviewed around everywhere, but they seemed to have the biggest brand presence, and they were offering the best compensation plan at the time too. So it was a no-brainer. And I spent my first 10 years of my career there until I decided to kind of do my own thing.
And you had the Brantford Homes team. Very much remember that, because that was the time, which now I must admit, I do watch your YouTube channel.
Awesome.
I do get a lot of information. ChatGPT, by the way, loves you. They pull up your videos all the time when I'm asking for marketing. Yeah, you are. Like, you are known on ChatGPT. But it is, it's one of the things that I recognized about you instantly, because I was new to Brantford, new to real estate, new to growing a team after my 3rd year, is your instant use of video work. Because when I came into Brantford, it was cell phone photos, everyone's signs looked the same, the marketing was all the same, and then all of a sudden there's Jeff Thibodeau and the Brantford Homes team using video tours.
Right, and we were like shooting with our own handy cams.
Me too, don't worry.
Like, it was none of this fun tech and editing we have nowadays. But it was actually, I don't know if I've ever even told anyone this story, but at the time I had a friend who was in the personal training business locally, and he came to me. He was very entrepreneurial too, and he said, you got to see, my older brother's a personal trainer in Toronto, and they've been putting workouts up on YouTube that led to personal training sales. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, look how easy this is. And they had these like little cameras that you just plug the USB right into the side of your computer. So I watched a few of his videos, and then he started doing them, putting up free workouts. And it's like, it didn't make any sense, right? Why would you put up the thing that you're being paid for?
Yeah.
But so then I started doing that, just making like my very first little, like, trying to give away free knowledge.
Yeah.
With no knowledge, right? I was like 3 years in the business. Yeah. Like, what business do I have telling everybody how to do this job or whatever? But nobody else was doing it at that time. So it was really easy to stand out compared to today, where like you're competing against everybody in every biggest brand's account. So,
but now you have experience and you have longevity. And that's the big thing when it comes to any kind of social platform. And really, YouTube isn't a social platform. It's more of like a search engine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're like I tell you, when I'm like Brantford stats, I'm looking for something to do. I want like reaffirm, maybe tweak my listing presentation. It's like Jeff Thibodeau on YouTube. And it's like, your information's fantastic. Your videos are great. I mean, you're a pioneer in Brantford for it, that's for sure. Because I remember when I started, there was no one else really doing it except for our two teams.
Yeah, I feel like that angle too, it's just what I like. You know, before real estate, I was in the market research industry, and not in like the sexy marketing side of it. I was in like Excel tables and big data sets and putting together presentations for clients to explain a pricing strategy or why their customers did or didn't like the change in their logo or whatever. So that was the thing, like taking the real estate stats and just turning it into nice looking charts and explaining it to consumers was the easiest thing for me, like easier than open houses or door knocking or anything.
Yeah.
So, and I've just, every time all new stuff happens, you know, whatever mentor, I'm sure you've got the same advice, but you kind of like circle back to what works, like stop trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
So there's probably 5 loops of that in my career, but I always keep coming back like, well, this is what people appreciate watching from me.
That's right.
They don't want me to give them a tour of the 5 restaurants in town. That's for some other influencer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like they want from me data on the real estate market, and it also lets my whole career flow that way too. So my entire process is based off of strategy and very logical thinking, which is also my personality. You know, like, so then you match with your clients too. So it's just like lean in. And whenever I give anybody advice now, it's just like the more authentic you can be to yourself, the easier this job's going to be for you.
And actually, you remind me, and this is a compliment. Tom Story is a friend of mine, good colleague. He's also done a lot of conferences with me.
Yep.
You and Tom Story have a very similar approach. You're very data-driven, very statistical, and that rational thinking really leads to information that's being absorbed by the right consumer who also has similar characteristics. Mm-hmm. But it's also a really good way of selling real estate because it sometimes can go down that emotional path, whereas numbers and data and stats they're pretty concrete.
I think you need both, because I've been too cold, you'd say, like too just, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And because that's just how my
analytical brain
works, right? I don't like mull over things, but I've had to learn the more empathetical side of the business and like how to slow down and realize, like, especially having kids, right? Like that helps with that. Right. It's like, okay, we got to get these people out of their stress state before we can talk about why the market is the way it is. Like if I am coming at you with data and you're just freaking out because you need to move, that's going to be a rough conversation. So that's somewhere actually I had to struggled a lot for a lot of the time. Honestly, I think a lot of my growing the team and even the brokerage, the motivation was to get out of transactions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I wasn't always in touch with that more relationship empathetical side, but adding that back in now as a skill instead of, it's not my natural thing, but now a learned skill, I actually find the client relationships really enjoyable, even the tough ones now.
Yeah.
Because I know we're always going to come out the finish line friends. And when sometimes, you know, the deeper you have to go through the mud with someone, the deeper the bond. That's
exactly right. And you know what? The funny thing is the stats part of it, it's not that it scares me. It's just that to me, it's like watching paint dry. To me, it's a very necessary part of doing transactions. I mean, you have to have some data here to back up your pricing or to back up your strategy. But the empathetic, emotional side has always been, maybe because I'm female as well, which comes, I think, a little more naturally to females, has always been my kind of key to success. And I've had to really push myself into the data stuff because the numbers to me, they might just make sense to me, but you have to be able to make it make sense to somebody else.
Especially when they don't hit expectations. Like it's real easy to say, oh, you know, your house is worth more than you think, but to have to come in and like one of the toughest things we have to do as salespeople is disagree with our clients without getting fired, right? So we got to give bad news. We've got to have tough conversations. We have to help them realize like, oh, you're going to have to change your path. And it's really easy as a rookie to just like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am to all the clients. And then you're sitting there like, you know, feeling like frustrated with all your relationships. Where now, again, with the more empathetical, it's like, okay, this can be true. The market could suck, like right now, right? The market could suck. You could be underwater on your house, and I really want to help you. Yeah. And I can't. Those all three things could be the same at the same time, right? And that just, I think being older and more mature just lets you coexist in all three columns instead of think like you have to be like, it is what, you're a little more
think
attached.
of our own maturity. I mean, I was in my 20s when I started this career. I'm in my 40s now, which I don't even like to say because I'm still not at terms with that. But if even our own growth and development, buying our own houses, moving up on our houses, having children, going through life experience, are, I think, the knowledge that we even gain as we've gone through the business. And I can say that I'm a better agent today than I was 3 years ago, that I was 10 years ago.
For sure.
Was because of the experience that we've had and learning how to go through those relationships. Because as a 27-year-old in this business and, working with people who've had children, maybe gone through divorce, maybe have gotten married, maybe people who need to downsize, maybe people losing their jobs, I wasn't in those phases of life yet. So
Right.
I didn't fully understand the weight of the emotions that they carried. But now, having gone through, it'll be my 14th year in March next year in 2026, I have gone through a spectrum of those emotions in life situations. So it does make the relationships easier.
And
right?
and it takes that tension out of it. You realize, they can be upset, and it's not they're upset at me, they're upset or they're stressed about the situation.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be on that team, not on the opposite team.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, here's a big question, because you had the Brantford Homes team, which is a very successful team locally here in Brantford. And I mean, when I say Brantford, Brant County, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you took the leap to open Redline. That's a big transition, because you guys had over 30 agents?
We actually, when we closed it, we were at 60 agents
60,
locally.
wow.
And the cool thing about Redline too was that it all grew organically. I'm not like an outbound recruiter. I'm not banging the doors.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No.
And but we found with the team that whatever we had built with the team was working. Like our little services and marketing, it wasn't complicated. We just had some extra little things that the brokerage didn't provide that made us
stand out.
Well, it made it just easier. Yeah, it made the working there and making money easier somehow. And so we looked at it and said, well, what if we just scraped off the leads part of it and then just offered the services instead? Just split that in half and basically just do everything we were doing as a team, but not charge these massive team splits, charge a reasonable brokerage split, and let everyone still run as independent contractors. That was just the idea. And then poof.
It did really well.
Yeah, it was the first new thing in a long time in Brantford too, right?
Yes, it was.
We had a good time in place with it, right? It's and we did really good at really delivering on our promise to everybody. So as soon as they joined, they would call their friends, and their friends would say, "Is it really like that over there?" And they're like, "Oh, it's actually even better." There's stuff they didn't even tell us about, and so it just went we couldn't even keep up. Honestly, it was. I
loved your logo.
Thanks.
I'll always remember that logo. It was very good with R with the circle and then the line underneath it.
It's funny, that was created by accident too, right?
Really?
This is crazy how business goes, right? Because it was actually a whole word red line with a red line at first. Yeah. And then some designer uploaded it to Twitter and it just cropped it in the circle with just the R and the line.
I liked that.
Done, right?
I liked that. That was really, really good.
But we took a lot of inspiration from the other luxury brands. Wanted to stand out because there was all this fracturing of the independent contractor landscape. And I even found that, I was at RE/MAX, but not a single agent at RE/MAX had the same sign. So we didn't look like even though it was the biggest company at the time, not to the consumer.
Yeah.
Whereas when Redline did our signage and everything was the same, we weren't even the biggest, but visually we were. As the owner of the company wearing a hat with the same logo, I would get stopped every day. "Oh, do you know Redline?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am Redline." And
I am.
It was such a weird thing to feel how quickly that could happen. But it took everybody had to take an ego step down, right? And I had to really be able to explain.
That's a hard one in this industry.
To explain and really show people how it would work. And it's the same reason your teammates want to be on your team, right? Because there's a bigger presence as a group, and that actually can help us all together.
Yeah.
Where it's,
everyone's got to be bought in, though. Everyone's got to be bought in. That's always the thing, right? You got to be bought in. You got to see the bigger picture, not just what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Collaborative approach, right? And Redline did amazing. I mean, I remember when you first opened the doors to it, and all of a sudden I just seen these mass exodus from other brokerages and other people coming. It's some big agents.
I'm sure I was very annoying to the local brokerage community for a while. Not everybody.
I mean, I'm sure people can take that approach, but then that's them looking at it and they're fearful.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fear over you opening that brokerage, because when you something new, exciting, I'm going to say it was pretty sexy. You had a good group of people who offered great services, a lot of different personalities. So there was a seller or a seller agent or a buyer agent for every consumer. I don't know. I mean, if anyone steps back and is hating on it, I look at it and I'm saying that's because they're scared.
Yeah, we just offered something I think a little different And fast forward to nowadays, even with new brokerage models and stuff, it's hard when something new comes out that's like it's different. The old company can't adapt, and it doesn't want to because it's going to have to change its fundamentals. So you have this like competition of like what's going to win in the marketplace, and it definitely feels like more and more all the teams and the brokerages are trying to move more in that direction slowly, but it's really hard to do if you've got 100,000 agents, all independent contractors. How are you going to say, now we all do this with this new logo? Like,
congratulations.
So I always talk about it like, it's the difference of driving a cruise ship or a speedboat. And like the bigger you get, the more you're like a cruise ship, and you can't even change your own team, right? Because it's like there's too much invested, there's too much, this is the way it is. But when you're small and nimble and young, you can just come in and shake everything up, and then all of a sudden, 4 years later, you're the cruise ship.
That's right.
If I change anything now with 60 agents, I got to hear about it all day. It's like, so you go full circle, right? And every business has its advantage. But for anyone that's like just getting going, like your advantage is that you can just change direction every 30 seconds. The longer you go, the more you get carved into this lane, and it's a lot harder to change directions.
Yeah, and people don't like change. People like to know what's familiar to them. In this business that's constantly evolving, there's so many pathways we talked about before we started. The interesting and fascinating thing about this business is you can have someone who is strictly transactions, you can have influence on social media, you can have the coaching space, you can have a little bit of all of it. You can be a team leader, you can be a salesperson that's on a team, an independent. There's so many ways to really cultivate and make, and not just a name for yourself, but a pathway for yourself that's beneficial both financially, but also like inherently, like inside, right? So
yeah, it's there, right? It takes a long time because when you're starting, you don't even know what you want.
You're just trying to learn, like, what do I get up and do and start my day with?
Yeah, and whoever your mentor is telling you one path, and you've got to I say that's the toughest thing about our industry is that you're dropped in the inside of a black ping pong ball, right?
Yeah.
Like what do you do?
Yeah.
But if you can start to figure out, oh, this is what feels good, this is what I like, or here's someone I can kind of like, not copy, but follow the essence of.
Yeah, follow the essence of. I do like that.
I like how they do it, and I'd like to do it that way.
It resonates with me.
Then also you could get in there and realize, oh, I don't actually like this way, or this type of client, or this type of business. So being flexible and continually molding it, and I think having it grounded in what you want out of your life first, because at the end, it still is just a job. I think one of the roughest things is to like wrap your whole identity up as a real estate agent, because then your self-esteem's wrapped up in your income. It's like a weird mix, right? You
know what? I can honestly, we did the Elevate panel last year with Josh Fall and obviously the crew. And, there's been a big humbling experience in my life where I was so sales driven, and I felt like if I gave up on the momentum, then something would happen and I would fall back, and then something else would take my place of like, well, this is my identity. And it was extremely exhausting, very taxing. Personally, I had 3 kids. It was like, I felt like I had to be everywhere and everything to everyone. And then finally, I just had this moment of like, does this even really matter? I have a phenomenal life.
Right.
I could scale back 50% and have a phenomenal life. And am I living to work or working to live? And the one thing I've heard you say many times, and you said it again at the Elevate, we'll call it like get together conference, was that you basically work to have a good life. It's not like you're not living to be great at work, right?
Yeah. And I would say I'm 80% like that. Like that's the goal. And then it's easy to get caught up trying to compete, trying to get an award, trying to get the next level, right? Trying to prove to people you're important or have status. And you're right. It's much easier, or not, it's better, not easier. It's definitely not easy. It's much better to be able to just look in the mirror and go, oh, okay, I'm winning on my scorecard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My scorecard.
Actually, my scorecard, I'm crushing. Like this is out of control, right? Like, and I have great relationships with my kids. I have a healthy marriage. I get time for my hobbies, and I'm like, okay, so you got to get all the validation here and not on Instagram or on an awards ceremony or whatever.
Right.
It's rough. It's
hard
to do.
It is, but there's a checks and balance for sure.
Yeah.
And mine was like, I know this doesn't feel good. I know this doesn't feel good. Goodness, I'm tired. Why am I working 18-hour days? Holy cow. Like I can't keep up with this. And then it's like, boom. what am I doing this for, right? Because it is a beautiful career. It's very diverse. It's very exciting. No day is the same. We have great days, bad days, in between days. Some days are mundane, but it's overall, it's a very satisfying career when you look at it as a career and not your life.
Yeah, and like you can actually just, I find the difference, and I'm sure you'd echo this at this stage of your career, and you're training people younger in their career, and the things that they bring up as like the stress or the issue of the day, you're like, psh, anymore, right? You're like, but I still have the memories of like, oh, I remember when that conversation would have stressed me out all day. And like now I don't even prepare for it. Honestly, like I just make the call and I go back to eating lunch or whatever I was doing, because that release of like, oh, it can just be a job. I can keep getting better at it.
Absolutely.
And I'm only as good as my last at bat, so it doesn't even matter. Like I'm going to go take a lockbox off a house tomorrow that I didn't sell, and the guy's like grumpy and firing me, and it's like,
I did my best.
I still hit my goals this month. Like,
and this year.
So it's like, you got to separate those things. I think you can't always, that's what I was saying again with like the client work. If you're so tied up in it, then you only win if your client is giving you a 5-star review and you sold the house for over asking, then your self-esteem goes up. But that's not in your control. Like
sometimes the wins are getting them out of a really difficult situation, and sometimes it was really bumpy along the way, but you made it happen, and it was exhausting, and it took months to happen, and it was many late night conversations, but you got it done. And yes, it may not have been exactly what was needed, but it was what was necessary.
Yeah, it was like it's not all champagne, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Sometimes it's just signing contracts.
Yeah, it is.
Banging signs
or waking up and being like, I haven't posted on social media in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like it's
what am I going to post?
And I think like that's the more, just like that being authentic. But obviously at the same time, you got to be careful. Like clients, do they want to hire the real you, or they want to hire the sales version of you, right? So there's all this, like, I think we're in a shift. Like I look at what my kids, and I think our kids are similar ages. Like my oldest one is very heavy on social media now. He's going in high school and stuff, right? And I'm just watching the difference of just how he is not in the filter generation, right? They're just raw posting.
Yeah,
like the ugliest poster. He thinks they're funny. I took this embarrassing picture because I thought he was cute, like sleeping in the boat like a little baby again. And he goes, "Oh, send me that one." And he posts it I'm like, I thought it was embarrassing, right? But I think slowly society is moving back towards authenticity. We're just stuck in this weird transition phase when the tools first came out, where it was the opposite. It was like just win, 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 win. Who's winning the most? And slowly people are seeing that as fake, right?
Yeah, so it is. And it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
So both things are happening, but it's like, I think you're betting on it going that way.
I hope it does, because you know what? Remember, think about growing up in the 90s, even early 2000s, where we didn't have all this social media. Like, I look back and I don't need to have pages and pages of memories, because they're all up here and they were real and you feel them. Yeah. Right? You weren't hiding behind your phone constantly.
Totally.
And one of the things I want to make sure that I said I wanted to say it was, I always had a really similar experience when people always brought up your name when you were in Redline, and that was you were an exceptional leader. You really led from the heart. You really were data driven. The emotions weren't there, as in you didn't get highs and lows, which I take that as a really big compliment, because in this industry, it's very easy to get fired up or to come in underwhelmed because you're exhausted. And one of the agents on my team also had worked with you, and she always said, like, Jeff is a really great coach. Cheryl Vansickle was obviously with Redline. I love Cheryl. Yeah. She always used to say, Jeff was a really great coach, a really great leader. Though, is that what kind of led you into like that coaching space? Because that's the one area of your business that I haven't really understood how you got there.
Yeah, it was kind of the opposite, actually. Like I got trained to be a coach, and I'm so grateful that I did. Because
was it Tom Ferry?
Yeah, and so I was just really lucky at the time when Tom was starting his company. He was just breaking off from his dad, who's like the father of real estate coaching, right? Yeah. But they had a breakup. He wasn't going to take over the company, so he was going to break off and do it his own way. And Remax hired him to be a keynote speaker. And so I was at the conference struggling 3 years into my career, like not really hitting my goals. And he gave this keynote speech that really resonated with me. about there's no wrong way to build this business. There's no wrong way to generate a lead. You don't have to do it like my dad said, basically, which was, I was like, oh, finally.
Yeah, thank you.
This is my guy. And I like literally went whoop with my credit card for coaching, right?
Yeah.
Like $6,000 and when I made like 36 grand in the last 12 months. Like no call to the wife, right?
No, you're
but I was
like,
like, now I'm in,
this.
right? Yeah. And then lo and behold, like I don't get placed with Tom Ferry, right? I get placed with some entry-level coach. Like I had no idea what I signed up for. And he's a scripts and dialogues coach out of Toronto. And I'm like, oh God, I wanted the no wrong way to do a business. But through that, I just decided, okay, I'm in now. They already got my credit card.
Yeah.
Like I already paid the full fee in advance. It's not a monthly thing. So let's just listen. And I've always been a pretty good student if I want to be, like, you know, not Shakespeare or English class in grade 12, but if I'm interested, no problem consuming information, right? So I was like, I'm just going to go all in, do what this guy tells me. I'm not going to lie to my coach. And lo and behold, that was the start of Brantford Homes team, right? Because all of a sudden my business started taking off.
I didn't realize you were that far back into it. Interesting.
Well, then I'm going to all the conferences, right? And like real estate, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to listen to what's going on in little bigger cities sometimes.
Yeah.
So I would go and hear what's going on in Chicago or Toronto or whatever. Who these top producers? What's the ad they're running? What's the thing they're doing? And I would just bring these ideas back to Brantford a year early or 2 years early, right?
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden we started generating really cheap leads, and that's when all of a sudden I had abundance to hand out to other people, right?
Okay, that's where the Homes team came in.
Yeah, so it just grew organically out of that, and then through that success, again, I was I kind of wrote up the Tom Ferry group because I'd get pulled up on stage to speak or be an example of success in the system, and then next thing you know, they're expanding, so I get a call that, hey, your name's been put forward as a potential coach, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, what do you need me to do? And they're like, oh, can you be in California this weekend for a job interview?
No problem.
Yeah, no.
Let me get my jet.
Right. It's like, I'm like looking to my wife, like, is this really happening? Because you're so awestruck. You don't really know what you're signing up for.
That's right.
It's not as glamorous of a job. Like, but you're idol. It's like if your favorite band called you to come cover for them or something, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like in this thing you idolize, and then they call you and say you want to be part of it. And so I just said yes. I was actually at my cottage, so I drove straight to the airport with no clothes. I had to land and like walk to the mall and buy a suit to go to this.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
And but then it kicked off like the best educationally 2 years of my life, because this company was just growing rapidly. So they're having all these coach summits, all these trainings. So you're just talking with all these people that their hearts are all in the right place on how do we help people achieve their goals, right? Cut through their bullshit. And it was a lot of mindset stuff. So that's where that all went up, and at some point I had like 40 plus coaching clients through Tom Ferry.
Wow.
I was juggling it with the team.
Wow.
You know, and then it, quite honestly, it ran its course where it felt like, oh, I'm just part of this big coaching machine, right? It kind of like, it's like seeing how the sausage is made, you lose the passion for it, right? So I resigned, and we've been great friends ever since. Like it's still like, I still have Tom in my text. I can text him and stuff, and it's awesome. But I made some of the most incredible friendships and lifelong relationships like that I have tattoos about and stuff because of that.
That's amazing.
People I still talk to every day now. And it was just one of those time and place things. So now I still do it, but it's very much just a very small handful of clients. Yeah. And I try to just improve people. I try to leave people better. Yeah. And I think of myself as like a little supercharger to try to bolt on. Like I can't change your engine, right? But if you want to go faster, I can give you a little extra gas, right? And if you're willing, and I get no better high than watching someone take advice and go. And
implement it and watch the successes happen.
For Redline, all I had to do was just pour that into people every day, right? Like it was such a fun couple of years because it was like, what are your goals? And like people had never experienced kind of a coaching environment like that where someone was just going to help them. And
because that wasn't traditional in the brokerages that were in Brantford.
No, and in the industry had pushed back to a much more independent contractor model. And I was just blurring those lines where it was like the coaching was kind of free. Now it was exhausting again, right? Like to try to coach 60 people.
A lot of talking, a lot of wearing.
Yeah. So it wasn't ultimately like, I'm grateful I did it, but I wouldn't want to do it again. I have no ambition.
Been there, done that? Checked it off your list?
It was a fun experience, but I've realized that I really like those relationships to be less transactional. Like I don't even like the paid coaching relationship, honestly. It's like more a mentor-mentee. If I can find a few people to like pour my energy in, like more of a pay it forward thing.
Yeah.
Then that's all I need, right? I already got my kids.
Yeah, well, right? I mean, that's
so
the thing.
Like,
you pour into like your wife, your children, family, friends, close colleagues. And then when you start pouring into people that, I mean, of course, you want to see people succeed. You want to help people out. But it does, when there's not that, I'd say, tight-knit connection there, it can be very draining and leave you a little bit more empty for the people that really do matter. I don't know how you did it. I like a very select group of people that I like to pour myself into. And when that number starts to get too big, it starts to become taxing on myself because
no doubt.
It's and I don't know how to recover from it. I like to be around my clients if it's not my family, and I like that part of the business. But I think the extra that you've done with the coaching, which I really admire, I think it's wonderful. I think people need it. That would not be a space that you would find me in.
Right. Yeah. Again, it was one of those like ride the wave thing, right? So like
you tried it.
It's not like I wrote down on some vision board like have 40 coaching clients. Or It was just like things were just happening. Same with the company. We never intended it to be that big, that fast, or like three of us opened it, right?
Yeah.
And like we didn't know if it was going to win or whatever.
But it did.
Yeah. So it's like I think now I try to be a lot more like intentional with where I'm pointing my energy, though, instead of just riding the wave, because that was fun. But it's also
that's
you can find
yourself. That's like the 20s and 30s. It's like let's just go, and the energy we have is so much more different than in your 40s. Are you in your 40s?
I definitely am.
You are
almost
definitely
halfway
in
through
your 40s.
my 40s. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. See, I never know. Men are so hard to gauge, and once again, I thought you were in the business 15 years and it was 17. So, and I mean, now you can look back and you can say I did the coaching thing, one with that, did the brokerage thing, one with that, one with the team thing. Now it's Real Brokerage. Yeah. You guys have been in, is it 2 years? 3 years?
I think the crew joined in 2021.
Oh, is it 4 years ago? Oh my goodness, time flies. Holy cow.
Yeah. And I had actually hung up my license for a little bit. So I wasn't with anybody at that time because I had sold my company, and it was just like cleaner to like, as an investor too, to just like take a break. Not sure where this is going to go. But I was still coaching and training over at Ryan's team at the crew.
Okay. I knew that. I did know that, yes.
And then so when he said, oh, we're going to go do this kind of new brokerage model, it was like kind of a no-brainer just to try to ride that wave too, right? It's like, okay, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, like it would be silly for me to sit on the sidelines and see if this works.
That's right.
So I reactivated my license, and then that actually led to then the next year I started, I don't know the right way to say this, but you're watching these young kids and the market's hot and the houses are $1 million a piece. And I'm sitting around like, wait a second, I'm getting paid to be a coach here. And everyone's making 5-figure paychecks every other week. Yeah. I'm like, I got to get back. Did I short circuit this whole thing? Like, why was I? So I got this mindset of like, maybe I should just do deals again.
Yeah.
And so I started, but it wasn't easy. I just gave a whole speech at Joshua's latest Elevate event about this, but it was a grind because the market was, as soon as I decided that, of course, poof, right? Like I decided to get back into real estate in 2022 at the beginning of the slide. So the first year was horrendous, like picking up 2 or 3 clients. The market's doing this all year. Yeah. But just put my head back down. It was like, what if I just coached myself instead of everybody else, right? What if I just took all these pages of notes I have and I just did them instead of tried to teach other people to do them? And it feels like, obviously we still want to go to higher places, but I feel like I'm in the best spot of my career ever. Like this summer was amazing, balance, work, life, goals, deals, I'm on your podcast.
What did you do this summer?
Just like my wife luckily got 2 months off this summer with just the way her career worked.
Amazing.
So we just went maximum family time.
Amazing.
Because the kids are 14 and 11 now, very shortly, they're not going to want to spend 2 months straight with their parents.
So your youngest is Jack is a late birthday. He'll be 12 in December.
Okay.
So that's a fun age.
Yeah, it's the
best. They're like cool little people.
It's gotten better the whole time because now we are actually a family unit that likes the same stuff and enjoys hanging out together.
Very outdoorsy.
Yeah. Very outdoorsy. Kids were rock climbing with me this week,
amazing.
Like on the real cliffs and stuff.
Oh,
and we all just went to Oasis last night as a family, all 4 of us. Like I'm in there singing Wonderwall with my 14-year-old. Like this is what it's supposed to be like.
It is what it's supposed to be like.
But obviously selling houses fuels all that. That's our job, right? It's the income that lets all that, but it also allows the flexibility of your lifestyle, which is the
100%
thing
does.
That most people complain about, but it's actually the best part of our job.
Yeah, and you know what? The way I set my myself up is Stephanie is my licensed assistant. Yeah. She's really, honestly, she's the powerhouse behind everything that allows me to do what I could do without burning out. And this summer we went to Smith Mountain Lake for a week. The kids and I traveled basically all over. We just got back from the cottage with my sister for her bachelorette weekend. And I would have never done that 7 years ago, 5 years ago. I was afraid to go away.
Yeah.
And now I'm not afraid. I set up my schedule. I can still answer phone calls. I can still like coach my clients in a way, but I have a presence on like feet on the ground if I need them. I have a lot more trust in other people. So then that way I know that, hey, listen, just because it's not me that's there doesn't mean it can't get done.
Yeah.
I struggled with that for a really long time.
Oh yeah, that's never been my problem.
No, yeah. I
delegate
wish.
the whole job away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more like the where the mind is. Like I struggled earlier when I was like so go that even when you're on vacation, you're not really mentally like my brain's business planning, running new ads, and like. But it's gotten much better. Like that's the niceness of not having such a big machine to worry about, and you're just kind of worried about your own career. Is like. You know, okay, client A is good, client B is good, client C is good. Okay, listing coming up next week's good. Poof, back to watching TV.
That's
or whatever, right? Like the brain, I don't have to be like dreaming up grand business ideas all night.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's the beautiful thing about the flexibility in being an entrepreneur is you can go to an Oasis concert last night. You can spur of the moment come and have a podcast.
That's right.
You can also go and do whatever it is with your kids and your wife, and you know, she's got the time off. So obviously you want to be there to spend the time with her, time you can't get back.
Yeah.
But then you also need to work.
And you can crank it up too. That's the other beautiful thing. You can, if you need to make more money, you can. Not everybody can just go to their boss and say, "Hey, I'd like 20% more money this year." Like, good luck with that, right?
Yeah.
But this business, you can. You can just put your head down and do it. So, yeah, I really have no patience for anyone that gets into this job and then complains about it. Like, I can't help you. I'm sorry. Like, this is the best job in the world.
It is the best job in the world.
And you got to start from that mindset and then go win. If you're griping about the job, like. Write up your resume. Honestly, I just have no patience now anymore in a coaching sense. It's like, if you love this job and want to make it easier and more successful, like let's talk about it. But if you're fighting the job, go complain somewhere else.
It's not changing. Like you might be able to pivot and do different things, but like really the fundamentals are pretty much the same. It's client satisfaction and helping people in their lives with big moves, right?
Yeah, and just go be good at it.
Yeah,
like, it's not like
you know what? That is your coaching tip. That should be your slogan. Just go be good at it.
Or at least want to, right? Like literally wake up thinking like, I want a better listing presentation. I want to handle this conversation better. Like so many people don't. They're like just sitting there,
they're dreading
like a deer in a headlights or something. It's like just wake up wanting to be better and realize you're going to be, if you want this career, hopefully you're doing it 10, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So you got lots of time to get better.
Yeah. And it's flexible and it's exciting and it's not mundane. Every day is different. Every client is different. I really love getting into homes and I'm like, this house is so cool. Like I really do get a thrill out of that. And the relationships, like these are just normal people who are going through the same life things that we are or have or will. And they just want someone that's going to care.
I used to like that transactional side of me, right? I tell this story now in trainings where it's like now I have to remind myself, like I'm sitting with like an elderly lady and my job is to let her tell me stories for an hour.
Yeah.
Like that's part of my job.
By the way, they're my favorite.
Yeah, now it is because the tension's gone. Once I sit there and I go, I can't believe I'm getting paid to listen to these amazing stories instead of, why won't this lady sign the contract so I go home? It's just a subtle shift, right?
It is, but
and all of a sudden it's so enjoyable. Now I'm sitting there listening and like, oh, this is great. And then I'm like, I can't believe, like, I have friends that get paid to like do really dirty, hard jobs. Yeah. Right? And like my job's to sit in a podcast today.
Or a beautiful like 75-year-old woman who, you know what, you just made her day by listening and engaging in that conversation with her. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and it really you got to like either put it in your journal. If you don't have that, you got to manifest it, right? And put it in your journal because it is really easy just to wake up in a problem soup, right? But that energy is not gonna lead you to your goals. No. It's just it's gonna be all tension in the job. You want the job to feel like, oh, I can't believe I get to do that. You know Joshua, obviously, Raw, but he runs like that all day. Like he's still this long in his career. He's like, I can't believe this is my job every day, right?
He is. So he called me, actually I was on my way up to Morgan's bachelorette weekend. It was on Thursday. And as soon as I see Josh Wall on the phone, I smile because the first thing that he does every single time is, do you know what an amazing human being you are? And that's the first thing he says to me. That guy, like, I want to thank you for having Simeon Papalias on your podcast, because he came to Elevate, and that's how I saw him, because I listen to your podcast all the time. He's such a beautiful human being. Like, he actually raises people's vibrations.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of that. So positive.
Yeah, he's just got the gift of waking up like that, whatever his dopamine or serotonin levels or whatever. But you can manifest it. If you don't feel that way, you can trigger 100%. It. You can just write in your journal things you're grateful about. You can teach yourself to look at the other side of a situation. And that's what I've had to do. I wasn't, for years, and through the coaching, that was like, I used to have to wake up and write the same like paragraph, reprogram my mind out of like always trying to find a shortcut or a hack. And all these little things, you realize that you're changing. I think that's the most important thing for people to realize. It's like, you're changing. You were once a baby crawling on the ground. Now you're this, and you're going to be something else. So keep working on it.
We're adults, guys.
Yeah, like keep going, right? Like there's still lots of opportunity to keep making things better for yourself in every way, right?
Yeah. And now look at this. So we've gone through this transition of where you are, and I mean, we don't have to talk too much about it, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. All of a sudden, I get this drop of we have the Scott Benson team, the crew, and Steve Zond merging together as the Benson crew.
Yeah.
And I love it. First of all, Scott, Steve, amazing human beings. Ryan, obviously, colleague, friend, locally. I mean, I thought when I saw that, I was like, wow, good for you guys. I could not be around 75 agents. That's exactly what I messaged Brian.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness. And he's like, we all have name tags. I need to remember everyone's name.
It goes from speedboat to cruise ship real fast, right? But I think, watching what they're doing, and very much like, I went through a lap of it. So I'm like pumped for them. I'm like, I want you guys to win. I think your vision's amazing, and I love your energy for it, right? And I want to watch and help you do it. And I know, like, even me deciding to partner up with Ryan, which was an unconventional thing, or actually him deciding to partner with me first. He brought his team over to Redline.
That's right, he did, because he was at Sutton with
when we were like competitors, when we used to look at each other as competitors, as like team versus team. And so what I realized about Ryan is, like, me and him are totally different cats. And so we don't even exist on the same plane. Like, if you meet us, right?
No, you're two totally different people.
Yeah, but you don't need two of me in a team, and you don't need two of Ryan in a team. Yeah. And so when we plugged in together, and especially with his brother, we actually make a nice little palette, right? It actually works a little better, and we stay in our lanes and help each other. And I think that's exactly what they're doing here, where you have like, Ryan's he's like the big picture real estate. I'm going to try.
Ideas.
I want to sell 1 million houses this year, and we're just going to do it by shaking hands. And he's got that energy. And then you've met Steve. Steve's very much like an engineer.
Marketing.
Operator, just like, here's the process, here's the systems, let's build the VA team. And then Scott's like an advertising and lead generation wizard. That's where his whole team growth has come. So you've got these different things, and each of these guys, I think, has had the same realization, which, okay, it's no longer, I don't really care if it's me anymore. I want it to be big. Like, they want it to be big, right? They want this huge business, and it's like they've realized, it's going to be easier if we combine forces. It's like Power Rangers or whatever.
Transformers. That works from our era, so I do know what you're talking about. And also, it's about seeing, what am I really good at, and what are they really good at? It's combining your genius together to make one like super genius. Yeah, and if it works, it works, right? Like, it could be really powerful. And I think there's another thing that I've experienced where a medium-sized business is really rough and hard to run, because like you're just swamped and you don't have the resources yet to hire up the higher level people to replace you, right? The operators, the managers. And so I think they're trying to skip, not that anyone's team was small, but in the grand sense of business, they were small businesses, right? Like less than a dozen operators. 100%.
Forget the agents, but the actual team running the team. And to level up and that go to like 20 employees from like 4 each, you just skip that grind of a middle business, which I think is really cool.
100%.
You're moving a lot of people's cheese at the same time too. So they got a big job in front of them, because everybody's merging. It's not like two are becoming the one brand. It's like everything is changing for everybody. So they have a lot of work, but I'd say being in on it, like going to all the meetings, going all to the events, like they're doing all the steps right. It feels very professional right now behind the scenes at Benson. Yeah, it's like, what's kind of cool. Like they're having town halls, and you're sending in your things, and they're answering them. And so, it's going to be a big mission. Like like, you're running a big team too. There's a lot of moving parts, but I hope it's awesome for them.
You know what though? I look back, and when I found that out that was the merger, I thought, good for them. I love bold moves. I don't have to be the one making them, but I love watching other people do things that are a little different and it causes some noise, because I think we need that every once in a while. We need to be rattled a little bit. We need to see something big and expansive so we can understand that our goals can be bigger too.
Yeah.
You just got to have the guts to do it.
Well, and it's like the reaction, even to be quite honest, like when Ryan and Carson first told me it was going to be the plan, the first reaction is not a good way. I'm like, because it's like, I just think me, how's everything? And just like, why? What's the point? Like, why? What do we need this for? Why don't you just do it on your own? Like come home, talk to my wife for half an hour, steam it all out. And then I'm like, wait a minute, maybe this is a really good move. That's literally how I ended the conversation, like for them and for me. I'm like, maybe this is the best thing ever right now. If I could just like get this weird part of my
that
psyche
uncomfortable
off.
feeling. Yeah, it's new.
And so kind of at that point for me, I was like, okay, I'm in, and the only way I know to be is all in, right? Like, it's like, I'm not going to just have a toe in. So it's like, if I'm going to be part of something, I'm going to try to squeeze every advantage from it and lead it and try to be an influence in it. And then hopefully you win, because I believe like, you want to be around growth one way or another. 100%. Wherever you're at in your career, you want to either be around a people or a company that's pushing for something bigger. It can be, it can feel uncomfortable. Oh, they're changing. They hired someone new. They changed this policy.
That's right.
But the opposite is worse. When something's shrinking and everything's changing.
And stagnancy.
Yeah. So you want to be in a place where growth is happening. And that's every time I put myself in one of those environments, it's a little uncomfortable, but you grow too. It's like a boat on a rising tide.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic. I think it's something that people are afraid to do. Maybe they dream of doing it, but like then it's like changing your internal landscape and the external environment around you. So it's a lot, especially in a market that we've been in, right? So a lot of people are holding on for dear life. They're cutting back. They're not spending as much. They're not taking as many chances. And boom, they come out with these three like very well-known teams that do very well in their respective markets. And now they're coming together with these agents and these administrators and operators and managers and team leaders. And it's like that. Good for you guys.
Yeah, I think they see a window too.
Good for you.
If you've seen a cycle, all the biggest shifts in recruiting and stuff happen in down markets because people...
Opportunity.
Yeah, and not you, but... If you're not hitting your goals, don't immediately blame your broker, right? Which is what most agents do. Their team leader or their broker.
Oh, I need a change or I'm not getting enough of this. It's like, hey, listen, you are the master of your own life. Yeah. You have to take charge.
And a fresh start can be psychologically what some people need to kickstart. But
100%.
No, you can give yourself a fresh start without changing. You don't have to like drop a bomb on your business.
Yeah.
Because it is easier just to like ramp things up than change everything. So right. I think it's going to be an interesting season because it's definitely going to be a competitive. Like this year's been tough. Transactions are down, right? Like tough for agents because there's less paychecks for everybody. So everyone's got to keep working harder. Yeah. Like, there's only one way out of a slow market is to beat somebody, right? Or like to go work out of it.
That's right. And so now you've got this newly formed mega team, I'm going to call it, because you guys have what, like 60 something agents, 70 agents?
Yeah, something like
that. Well, you used to run that at Redline. I just learned that. I thought for some reason it was 30, 40 agents. It was a lot of people in my mind, because anything over 10 for me is like, oh my goodness, I can't even remember all these names. So now we're coming into the fall market, which I'm super excited about. This podcast drops in September. What do you feel, we're going to end on this, what do you feel we're going to see in the next quarter, the last quarter of 2025, and what are your predictions for 2026?
For the remainder of the year, like so back to the cruise ship analogy, the real estate market is very much a cruise ship, probably the biggest cruise ship you've ever seen, right? Yeah. It's like a continent. So people expect a rate drop or a thing to all of a sudden flip the market 180, and it's just not how it works. We've been on a decline in terms of the number of homes selling versus the inventory for 4 straight years. So even if things turned 180, it would take 4 straight years of movement in the other direction to get anywhere close back to where things were. Yeah. The other thing that the problem ultimately with our real estate market is affordability sucks for the average buyer, right? Yeah. If you didn't get into the market before 2019 or so, it's a different set of financing rules than someone who has a house from before then and gained equity. And that's that's not going anywhere until wages go up, which is when is that happening?
And they're not catching up to the cost of living right now.
And at the same time, nobody's building anything that anybody wants to buy. So you have all these forces, they're all pushing from every direction. There's as many forces on the negative side as the forces on the, it has to go up. It's a supply demand. So I really think what we're seeing realistically is the consumer behaviors or sentiment starting to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
We saw a few positive news stories out of the GTA. What happens in the GTA tends to radiate down
6 to 8 months later.
Right? So this is we've been in this long enough, eh? I'm saying this to all my clients, it's like that's a positive sign if you're thinking about I'm going to hold maybe and ride this out. But at the same time, I wouldn't expect things to rocket anywhere. We've hit the ceiling of affordability where they can't just keep going up 10, 20% a year.
No.
It just can't. People can't afford the homes they want to live in. And if that's happening in Brantford, just imagine what's happening in downtown Toronto. Or
100%, or anywhere near it. We are the cheap, unless you're going out to Selkirk or closer to what I guess would be Oxford County and then beyond towards London. But even they went up in price. Yeah,
for the proximity of the GTA, we're the most affordable place and it's unaffordable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so how does that play out? Well, that's bigger than our jobs. That's government policy. I feel like at some point the government's gonna step in and try to make things easier for first-time home buyers in one way or another, either through helping them with down payments or 0% loans. I don't know what. I'm not a policymaker, but I think that's the only way. They don't want to stimulate the market through immigration. They don't like foreign buyer things. They want to tax and ban them. So really the only way they can help anybody is to try to get young people back into the housing market.
That's right, because they were beat out during COVID because of prices, then they were beat out at post-COVID because of interest rates.
And now they don't want to buy the product that's being built. Do you know any 28-year-old that wants to live in one of these condo towers that's going up? No, they don't even want the stacked townhouses. So we want our parents' houses is what we want, all of us.
The traditional family home, and, 3 bedrooms, even 1 bathroom. They just want detached. They want in good neighborhoods, good school systems, access to highways, because there's a lot of commuting happening if you're living in Brantford because you're driving till you can afford a home, but your job necessarily isn't there.
So I feel like we're get back to kind of the stable, we'll call it pre-2015 market where houses kind of went up 3 to 5% a year.
That's right.
A little bit more than inflation or interest rates. So that's what housing was. And it still was a solid investment back then. We just Brantford got sucked into the speculative Toronto bubble from 2015 to 2022. We rode it up and it's rough, but even in my cottage community, it's the prices went up and they're stuck there. The homes, not even the cottages, the little town. It's I'm how are these people affording these houses? These were $100,000, 10 years ago. Now they're $450,000. It's how's that work? There's no new jobs up here. There's no new economy up here. So I don't know. I feel like no matter what happens though, in our job, 90% of my clients are not moving because it's an investment decision. They have a lifestyle change or a need or a want, and that's not going anywhere from a career point of view.
And you always have your constants, death, divorce, relocation, finances. Those are always the things that are pivoting the market or moving the market. I really hope that things become affordable for the first-time home buyers because, to be honest, they're some of my favorite clients starting that real estate journey out, whether they, parents are stepping in to help co-sign, grandparents are helping out with down payments, because when you're starting out. I wasn't making a lot of money when I first came out of school. I had a boatload of debt. I had a great job. I was a dental hygienist, but I was also only part-time occasional. I had to work my way up to full-time. So at what point do you start buying a house when the average home price is over $600,000? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's wild. Even just the qualification, like I was saying, when I bought my first house the first year I was in real estate, and it was my second house, but the one I'm in now.
Yeah.
I bought it then for $240,000, and I qualified on it on my own, making sub $100,000 a year, one income, qualified to buy it, and I still own it to this day. Now to buy an even entry level home, you probably need a $200,000 dual income to get $600,000 loan right now, right? So the math is just completely
doesn't make
fractured
sense.
if everyone's not 100% positive that house values will go up. That was the only thing fueling it, was just it doesn't matter, buy a house, no way, no how, because at least it'll be up $100,000.
That's right.
But when that breaks and people don't believe that, now they're not willing to just fork out all that. You don't want to be completely house poor.
No. Well, I wouldn't want to be. So are you thinking then that we'll probably stay in the same situation? I also don't believe when everyone's September 17th, if they bring the rate down, I'm that's not going to do anything. You'll see a little bit of excitement, but it's not going to change the trajectory of the real estate market with 1 quarter point drop.
I'm hopeful we've turned the corner. So what I'm watching for is that the inventory starts to go down. And I've actually, I don't know, I watch it every freaking day. So we've actually in Brantford, we've lost 5% of the inventory in 2 days.
Thank God.
Now, are they just going to relist after Labor Day? I don't know, right?
It's the fall market.
It's too early to tell, but we want to see, ideally, the demand just kind of hangs on all the way into December this year. Well, sellers don't bother rushing onto the market. And that would help us correct and just bring the market a little bit back. Yeah, so that we start next year in a healthier place. Because if we climb another notch up that month supply ladder, it does start to really affect people's plans. Because if it's like 6-7 months supply.
That's what we have right now.
Yeah, it's like out of every 6 or 7 people, at least one of them is really desperate to get a deal done. So that's what causes the prices to fall. Because somebody will be like, fine.
Get rid of it. Now that's the new benchmark.
Yeah, but when there's only 4 or 3 months supply, people feel a lot more confident. So we're right in that turning point where the market either keeps getting softer for a while, or this was it. Like this was the peak soft season, and it actually next year's a little better. Not drastically better, but just on the other side of the hill. But
also, if we all can remember back to 2015, 2016, that was real estate in Brantford. People forgot that homes sat on the market for 60 days. We had due diligence clauses. Everything was a sale of property. Transactions happened. That was normal. I think that we'll see a huge drop off come December in inventory. I think we'll see, which we see every year. We see those contracts kind of leave after or just before Christmas or right before the new year. And I get the sense that we are going to have a much better landscape in 2026. I think we will see a lot less inventory. I think people have realized, wow, homes aren't flying off the market right now unless my pricing is aligned with market expectations. And I'm not saying we're going to have some crazy thing, but it'll be about, I'd say we'll probably climb like 3% next year. I believe it.
My only fear is that, because we saw this a little bit in the down, that anytime there's a little positivity, everybody who's been wanting to sell their home goes, oh,
everyone's on the market.
It just pumps the brakes again. So it's like, it's this constant little battle. So I do feel like demand's slowly going to creep back up. And I just hope supply doesn't overwhelm it like a tidal wave.
I hear ya. I hear ya. Well, honestly, Jeff, I've really appreciated you coming here. You're a wealth of knowledge. See, there wasn't no trick questions. I always say we just like to have casual conversations. Honestly, I admire everything that you do in your business. I admire everything that you stand for. I'm really excited for yourself and the new Benson Crew team. I'll be watching you guys and cheering you on. I think it's amazing, and I think you guys are going to do honestly great things. And I just want to thank everyone for listening, because September's podcast is going to be great. Thank you for joining us. And if you want to watch on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, we will be dropping this just after September 1st. So thank you for joining, and thank you for coming.
Thanks so much, Kate.
Oh, wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Where can we find you?
Oh, everywhere. Type my last name into Google.
Thibodeau. It's Thibodeau, but it's TH, right?
THIBODEAU. I will dominate the first feed of your search results.
Yes, you will. Just do ChatGPT Brantford statistics, and you will go right to his YouTube page. I can assure you of that. So thank you again for coming.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was good.